me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Hey sports fans, are you ready for an exhilarating gaming experience? Introducing VIPclub.lv, your ultimate online sportsbook and casino. VIPclub.lv offers a vast selection of sports, from football and basketball to tennis and baseball. Bet on your favorite teams and enjoy the thrill of the game. But that's not all. Our state-of-the-art online casino offers a dazzling array of games, including slots, blackjack, roulette, and live dealer tables. Win big with their fantastic promotions, rewards, and exclusive offers. Join VIPclub.lv today and get a generous 200% match welcome bonus to start your winning streak. And make sure to use code ECSI at sign-up. Bet it, win it, and cash it at VIPclub.lv. Visit VIPclub.lv now and play responsibly. VIPclub.lv, your sportsbook and casino extravaganza. Must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Visit gambleware.org for help.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Midday Market Report for Thursday, July 20th, 2023. Our weekly trip to L.A. with Mr. OG himself, the prime time capper, Mr. Pop Dibiase. Shout out to our new sponsor, VIPclub.lv. Always use ECSI at the checkout. Tell them JD sent you, and they'll take good care of you. Shout out to the men behind the glass, Mr. Ben Cohen, Mr. USC, as he got about less than a month before he'll be getting ready for some USC football. Cade Horton coming back east to New Hampshire. And, of course, Joe Shea at UMass Boston himself. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Pop Dibiase.
What's up? How's everything going, Jeff? Great to be back with you.
Oh, things are going, my brother. The official dog days of summer. The 2 days ago, almost 200 runs scored. We have some afternoon baseball as we speak. No score through 5, Arizona and Atlanta. I think they put up almost 30 runs 2 days ago. San Fran and the Reds up 2-0. 3-0 Brewers against the Phillies. 0s Toronto, San Diego, and White Sox put up 1 in the first, and the Mets. We're getting closer to football. We got some time, though. I'm doing a lot of fantasy work behind the scenes, so life is good. How about yourself, sir?
Well, it is what it is. It's just another day. We got Saratoga going right now. Already out the pick 5, $72 investment gone, you know what I mean? So it happens, but it's okay because it was that pick 4 money from last night anyway. You know what I mean? We hit the pick 4, 179 and a quarter for a $36 investment. So, that's pretty cool. But I was kind of going through it though a little bit, but it was a little rough from Sunday and Tuesday. You know how those days go when you can't get no winners out. And then the one winner you do get is like, damn, man, 3-2. Like everybody at the track had that one. But yesterday, I would say, it's this track out in Erie, Pennsylvania is really becoming like I was calling it my side piece, but it might have got it. I think it's been getting promoted as of lately, Jeff. It's more like now, your other lady. And Presque Isle Downs in Erie is a great racetrack. It runs Monday through Wednesday. They never really go over like 10, 11 horses in a race. You know what I mean? The fields are better than Santa Anita, because at least they can get 6 in there every day. And you know what? Since the track isn't elite track like that, they're not going to bring in the elite talented horses. So what you can do is you get into the moving parts situation where you got a lot of really good, horsemen that know where to place horses at. And pretty much when you get a racetrack like that, that means every race is wide open. It's not where you're going in there and a horse is 1-5. Okay, he's gonna win. No, it's like my favorite basketball conference in college. It's just like the Metro. Everybody's good. Everybody's the same person here. Nobody's better and nobody's worse. We're all kind of in the same boat. It just depends on how we're working when we do this and what the jockey's gonna do today when he pushes this horse forward. And I'm just gonna end it with this. Yesterday, we were able to bring home a 19-1, which was beautiful. That horse came in. But last week, I just can't stop bragging about it. I had a horse in the final race. They had bet down a favorite to 1-5. This horse was a first timer. Horse went off at 20-1, first time out. No, I'm not making any of this up, and won for fun. Looked like a 3-2 winner. And I said, damn, I'm a pretty damn good horse handicapper. The horse ain't never touched the track before, but some things sometimes if you're with he's the only horse that ain't touched the track yet, and the rest of them done lost 4 or 5 times, you take that one because that's a new kid on the block. He don't know what he's doing.
I was following a couple races over the weekend. I think it might have been Friday, and just doing what I do, following the tote board. Caught some late steam on a horse. I think it was I want to say might have been Gulfstream. Or no, maybe Hawthorne, one of those tracks. And it was funny. I played them to win, and then I played them first and second in exactas, and then I played him for third in the trifecta, and I caught lucky on the trifecta. He finished third in a photo. Trifecta came back. I think I had a 50-cent trifecta, paid $198, and I popped one more race like that. But going into the races, I wanted to ask you a question. You talk about the Santa Anita, the 3 and 4 horse fields. Saratoga now back. I guess if you just follow Chad Brown with Irad Ortiz, it's like printing money. But the weather, the turf, when they take the turf races off and put them on dirt, you had a 13-horse race down to 3 or 4. How does that affect your handicapping?
Well, you know what? The way it affects your handicapping is if you're one of those people that like to do the day before, night before handicapping, you've already put out your list and then you put it on your website or you put it on your sheets that you send out to people and things like that. Those guys always get screwed because they don't really factor in who's going to be scratched because they don't have any idea who's going to be scratched. Me, I'm the type of handicapper. I have a list of what I like, but if I know I'm dealing with a back east track, I have to factor in scratches as well too. So I don't put anything on my phone because I don't put anything on paper. I put it on my phone and my little card before I send it out. And I try to get this done at least 90 minutes before we get to the race. So I love the fact when we have tracks that do the scratches maybe 3 hours before. So then I have an idea exactly on how to put a horse that's a day when you know that they're coming off the turf and going into the onto the dirt. You have to look at the horse's history, and if they have a history that shows them riding on dirt, consistently, they'll probably stay on the dirt. And if they won on a sloppy track before, they'll probably stay on the dirt. But if this is a horse that's never touched the dirt like that, maybe been on there once or twice and never has dealt with the sloppy track, those trainers and owners will pull that horse off and will come back another day for this because the horse is specified as a turf horse. You know what I mean? They got the horse trained for riding on the grass, not on the dirt. And there's horses that can do both, and then there's horses that can only do one. So that's what kind of like how the factoring goes in. But you have to always look at when people say, "How do you know if it's a sloppy track?" You have to look closely at the form and their races, and if it says SLY, that means sloppy. So that means that was a wet track. Or if they have an X marked across it, that means that the track was messed up that day. So That's why, those are the little things that we all need to look at, because sometimes if you don't understand the form, you could just be looking at numbers, and you don't want to just be looking at numbers. You want to understand what the form is all about. And once you understand the form, that's when you really understand how to pick winners on the horse. But I don't always need a form. I can go and I just need to see numbers. That's it. Sometimes I just need numbers. But another way of betting is as this too, and people say this all the time: jockey betting, man. But this is what I'm going to use as an example. Say you have, like my good friend Doug O'Neill. Doug brings in two horses, right? One's a first timer, one probably rode twice before. They're 2-year-olds, right? Now, the one that you look at is usually the first timer with Doug, because the horse doesn't know what it's doing. But with Doug, though, sometimes you got to look at it like this: whoever the higher price is, that's the one you want with Doug. You don't want the other one will probably do pretty good, but you want the one that's the higher price, because usually somebody like Mario Gutierrez, former Kentucky Derby rider, if he's taking that horse that has the higher odds, that's probably going to be the winner of the race. And I'm giving you guys a very a little secret that I really don't tell anybody, but it's Jeff, and I'm just trying to get people to understand the thinking that horse players have. And usually I go after the one that has the higher odds, and rode by Mario. It's usually the same owner, Redham Racing. So if you see those purple and white, the purple and white sleeves and things like that in California, that's Redham Racing. So I look to them as that's a great guide for me. But I also like when he has a horse that is in a race with, say, a lot of other really good contenders, but that it's a wide open race, and say he doesn't have Mario riding, he'll have somebody like maybe TJ Pereira riding or something like that. That's another good look for him. But if he has, but at Santa Anita now, if you have JJ Hernandez riding the horse, anybody, you got to get that horse a look, because JJ Hernandez is now the top jockey, because Flavian Pratt went back east. So you got a lot of different angles and different ways you can go about horse racing. But those are just some basic ones that I see that I do when I'm handicapping and things like that. And I always try to make sure that, sometimes, I use them as an example, but sometimes, if you don't have a form, if you don't have any numbers in front of you, sometimes you just have to look at the combination and see how good they are together. A good combination for me in New York is Joel Rosario and Christophe Clement. It's like Jordan and Phil Jackson to me. And then you got guys like Luis Saez when he hooks up with, say, Bill Mott. They're pretty good together. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's always different. But I know everybody's go-to in New York, Chad Brown, and either one of the Ortiz brothers, and now Flavian Pratt is one of his top jockeys as well, too, that he always goes to. And Todd Pletcher, Todd, the Toddster. If Todd got Irad or Jose or Louis riding a horse, or JC riding a horse, Castellano, who's having a hell of a year. Who can name the last jockey that won 2 different Triple Crown races on 2 different horses? They don't bring that up enough. That's a damn good fact right there. He won on the Mage, and he won on whatever the archaeology, Archangel or something like that, archaeologist, some shit like that. But yeah, that one. He won Belmont and Kentucky. So, there's just a lot of different things. We got Del Mar starting tomorrow as well, too. And Del Mar is not like Santa Anita. Del Mar is a shorter meet, and Del Mar is not owned by the Stronach Group. They're not owned by those people that own Santa Anita. So they have a different setup down there because they're more into a smaller community. So don't think that racing is going to leave Del Mar anytime soon, because it's very supported down there. It's actually a source of income for that little town that they do the races in, because it's a beachside town that they do it in. You know what I mean? And so pretty much you have that. But it's a sad day in horse racing really today. As you know, Golden Gate Fields is going to close at the end of the year. Shriners Group just announced that the other day because they want to consolidate all racing down to Southern California. I kind of have an idea what they want to do. They did the same thing to Calder Racetrack years ago when they were trying to do Gulfstream Park West, and then they shut that down and just brought all the horses down to Gulfstream Park. Now, a lot of people are very hesitant on doing it because they feel like they're going to lose their competitive advantage because, you know, Golden Gate's like Presque Isle Downs. You don't really have superior horses up there. You got claimers and horses that just go run races. A lot of geldings, you know what I mean? So now all those horses come down to Santa Anita. You can add an extra race day as well, too. Right now, the trainers don't like the idea. The owners don't like the idea. But I know Santa Anita is going to do something to entice them to come. And they'll come down there because they'll make it to where it's worth their while. They're not going to throw those horses in there with, you know, any of Bob Baffert's $1 million horses, but we got plenty of horses that are what I call dogs as well too down here, and not dogs in a way like we talk about in the NBA, like he's a dog out there, like dogs. You know, Jeff knows what I mean. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, dude, I don't know where your brain's at today. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's how it goes with that. But I think that the state of racing in the state of California is very, very dire at this point. By 2030, I don't know if we'll have any horses running anymore, to be honest with you. Probably Del Mar will probably still have their little fair, and it will become like a carnival thing because it's really, really hard for people to continue to do this business. And as folks get older, the older folks that were the most invested in this, that we're losing them. They're passing on, or they're losing their fortunes, and they just can't do it anymore. So, you know, it's a rough day in horse racing. It was better 100 years ago. That's all I can say.
NBA Summer League in Vegas came and went. Jaylen Brown, no extension. He's off Japan, China, whatever, doing something, some kind of promo there.
Making money. Making money.
Yes.
Every time they're out the States, it's to make money. They ain't vacationing, Jeff. You know that.
Wembayamba puts up a dud the first game, gets his triple-double the second game. They've seen enough. Pops gets a 5-year extension, which to me is like a wow there. If I remember correctly, Utah Jazz win the Summer League. What was your impression of the Summer League? Brandon Miller, couple games, saw what they had to see. Again, that's what the Summer League has come down to. The new kids on the block. Let's wait till we get that good game out of you. Then we're going to pull you out. It's the second year guys, or the guys really digging deep, trying to make the teams. But what was your thoughts overall in the Summer League?
Well, you know, Summer League is more now, from what I see now, it's more of an open it's more of an open tryout for guys who are looking for jobs all throughout the basketball world. You know, possibly a guy looking for a team overseas, or a guy that's going to play in the G League at some point. It's rare that it's going to be a guy that's actually going to be moving forward and playing on an NBA roster unless he got picked in the first round. Even the second rounder is somewhat on the cutting line as well too. But now, since they know that they got second round guys, and the way that second round guys work, second round guys are a little bit more, I would say now, they're much better than they were when we were watching the draft years ago. You know what I mean? And so now they have choices. So every guy is not getting picked in the second round. So if the team goes out of their way to sign you after the draft immediately, you're pretty much a second round pick. But you chose what team you want to play for. You know, look at Austin Reeves, for instance. Austin Reeves could have got drafted by the Detroit Pistons. He told them no. And he signed with the Lakers right after the draft. They had a couple players that talked about that they told NBA teams, don't draft me. 45th pick, don't draft me because I already have a deal in place with X amount right here. And these guys are getting 4-year deals because they're looking at these guys, these college players, the guys that played 2-3 years in college, as the guys that are going to actually make up your team. Now they know with these young guys, these young puppies, all that good stuff, they know they're feeding obsession somewhat. They're not really guiding any talent. They're feeding an obsession because you talk about it all the time, Jeff. It's always about my 2K stats and Twitter and all that good stuff and them talking about me on Bleacher Report. Well, it seems like they've made this the first round for those guys because they're helping sell the league. But the guys who make up the league, who are the guys that are actually helping teams win games right now, are second rounders, undrafted free agents because they have real experience in basketball. The rest of them, they're using them as a way to sell a league to a younger audience, in my opinion now. And it's not that these guys are that good. It's that they know that people are obsessed with the next face of the NBA. They're dying to get the next face of the NBA. We come from a time where rookies used to be, whatever. You know, you could be a great college player and the newspaper wouldn't even talk about you in the same light as the rest of these guys. The newspaper would be like, well, Boston just drafted a good guy. He did pretty good out of North Carolina last year. We'll see what he's all about. We'll see if he can make it through camp. And they move on because you're not a star of the team. Now, LaMelo Ball gets drafted. He's going to switch the whole way we play basketball. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He gets hurt 5 games in, something like that. And now we're sitting here. We got to find the next one. I feel like they're doing this because they know that the money's getting longer and the talent pool is getting much shorter. There is nobody that really stands out in the NBA anymore. They're all kind of the same. After you talk about the guys who've been, the established stars. After the established stars, they're all the same. There is no real star. They're just kind of moving parts. And the NBA gets that part now. This is the way they figure out how to shrink the money. Everybody's quietly doing what baseball already did 10 years ago. Sign the younger guys up front. Sign them up front. Put them down there in the little minor leagues. Get them all tuned up. Get them right. We'll be back for the next 5-6 years. And then when we get good, then we can start maneuvering. But the way we're going to go about this right now is we're going to play this thing real cheap. And yeah, guys are getting paid lots of money. They're getting paid lots of money. But see, the thing is, though, these teams have the options to keep these guys at least for the first 8-9 years of their career, just like baseball. Because look at it, Jeff. You get the rookie deal, and then they're already giving them the extension 3 years in if they want them. And it's another 5-year extension. So you're stuck with this team for 8 years. LeBron was stuck in Cleveland for 7 the first time around. So now the NBA gets it. Let's just figure out how we can hold on, how these smaller franchises can hold on to the players. So then we can kind of share the wealth a little bit. It's not really about these guys being life-changing talents. Nobody's Wilt Chamberlain, dude. Nobody's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Nobody's LeBron James. Nobody's Magic. You don't have these guys that are draws, in my opinion, anymore. You have guys that just play basketball. And I think that a lot of times, a lot of us really feel like we found the next one, but we haven't. Wemby is another big guy. He's not strong. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. You can't be that long and that weak. We know he's weak. We know because he doesn't want any contact. Any real big men, they want contact. If they're strong, they want contact. And after watching Wilt the other day, there's no comparison to what that man did. Don't even bring these little, he's a unicorn, he's a this, he's a that. What if we put Wilt in today's game? Wilt be hitting threes and stuff too. You know what I mean? He be doing the same thing, dribble driving, fast. That's exceptional. That's different. That's something that you show up for. But you see Wemby come out there, you just see a big, tall man. That's it. And he gives you an idea of what could be. What if a big man could dribble between his legs and break somebody off on a crossover? And you saw every time he tried to do it, he got ripped because it's not that part of the game is not for you. You know what I mean? And then you got Brandon Miller, who was playing on a bad team in Summer League. Let's just all keep it real. Everybody was for self with their team, but from what I saw, I liked it. If I'm a coach, I like everything I see. He's perfect for my little star, LaMelo. And Scoot, I think Scoot's in the same type of controversy that every player's in when the lead man is about to be removed from the team and you are now the top pick. You are supposed to be the replacement of the face of the franchise. So I think Scoot has a little bit too much pressure on him already. Even though they got the players that can lead that team this year, you don't need to have Scoot try to be your leader as well, too. And I think that Scoot has a lot of expectations, but they're probably not going to get met. He reminds me a lot of Dennis Smith Jr. I'm going to be honest with you about that one, Jeff, because Dennis Smith Jr. had the same expectation. Oh, you're going to be this. Oh, you're going to be that. Oh, you're going to be this. Dude, I'm played on 6 teams already. So, you know, everything looks good in the summertime. You know what I mean? It's just like having your Christmas gifts the first few days. Oh, they're really cool. And then as the wear and tear go on them, then you wind up only liking 2 or 3, only liking one gift after a while. You know what I mean? And that's how I kind of see this situation. But all in all, Summer League, good job by the Cavaliers. Amani Bates, that was a redemption story with him winning. That was awesome because he was somebody who was really ridiculed a lot going into the draft, ridiculed a lot during Summer League, but he kept scoring 15, 16, 17 points a game, knocking down 6, 7 threes a game, doing a great job. But Isaiah Mobley showed his little brother that, you know, I got your back because I'm going to be on the big boy team this year as well, too. See, that guy earned himself a contract. That Cleveland situation looked great because, you know, 4 of those guys are going to be on the team next year for sure. And that's what made that situation pretty fun. And the team they played against, Houston, has a lot of the fun young talent that I'm really excited about those twins, the Thompson twins. I think that those guys are actually A1 players that would have been beautiful for college. They would have been a great college story. But they're the type of guys I understand what their movement was. They're really good and they're true. They're focused on a plan. And they both kind of have I would say it's kind of early to say this, but they both kind of have that Mamba mentality from what I saw with them. Both kind of remind me of the way Kobe approached the NBA as well, too. A real student of the game. You know exactly what's going on here. And, you know, you're ready to learn and you're ready to become a part of this situation. It doesn't seem like it's overwhelming them like Wemby and Scoot. Brandon Miller even had the look that, you know, I belong here, so I'm not going to sit here and, oh, my goodness, I'm here. I can't believe it. And then you got guys like Cam Whitmore who had a great summer, who went ahead and showed and proved that, you know, you should have picked me in the top 5. But you know what? Guys got to get over that. You got picked. Okay? Get over it. I know that every newspaper, every talking head said that you were the top 10 guy, but they don't choose for those teams, man. They don't work for those teams. They work for networks. They're trying to get attention. They're trying to get reaction. They don't know how these drafts are going to work. You know, you guys put Shams in a bad spot. Oh, he said all day it was going to be Brandon Miller to the. Brandon Miller was never going to play for the Blazers, dude. I told y'all that. And I told y'all everything that you needed to know 2 weeks before the draft even started. But Shams, he had to do what he did so then he can get people to click on to the tweet, click on to the article. It's all a game at the end of the day. We don't have great sports writers anymore. We don't have great reporters anymore. We have people who just put out news and look for the reactions, and they got to be first. If they're first, they win. It doesn't even matter if it's true. It's as long as you first, you win. It's that simple. Let's use another great example. Draymond Green the other day. They put out a prank tweet on him, and he goes off and goes into a whole story about KG. And it's just like, dude, this is a 4-time NBA champion. Why do you need to go to that level? Why do you need to always let us know that you didn't get punked or you weren't going to get your ass kicked that day? You guys are professional athletes. Shut up. What are you talking about? You're not street dudes. Can we get that out? Can we cut that out? I know that a lot of people outside make y'all feel like y'all street dudes because they fake street dudes, but y'all not street dudes at all. The NBA, me and Jeff, remember, if you were a street dude, you weren't in the league long at all. That shit, it didn't matter how good you was. You wasn't going to be in the league long because your peoples was not going to let you be in the league long. And they had a better way of approaching players. If you're distracted on the outside, you can go hang out with everybody on the outside. We don't have no rehab program. We don't have no, blame it on everybody but myself program. They don't in the NBA, just like the world. It used to be, you don't appreciate the opportunity? Bye. See you later. So you guys are these rookies, these people that are in the league now, you guys are really lucky when you mess up because they literally let y'all stick around and y'all just really stealing money at the end of the day. A lot of them, Jeff, stealing money right now. And you know that, and I know that. And that's why it just always kills me right now that they're paying NBA guys these astronomical dollars, and really there's only 5 of them who really deserve astronomical dollars. And everybody gets mad, but I think that the way that they used to go about paying guys was the correct way back in the day. Agents have manipulated the game to the point to where, let's try to beat the team for everything they got because they'll do us the same way. And they're not looking at the fact that they've been given the opportunity. They're so worried about the money. That's good to worry about the money, but at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's a child's game. And you're never going to make as much as the owner because you're not taking as many risks as the owner. So you got to get that out your head already, in my opinion. But it is what it is. I know I kind of jumped off topic, but Summer League all in all was just another good sample size of players trying to get themselves some work for next year and rookies showcasing to us that they're capable of playing in the NBA. But this is what I'm going to end with. I don't really care for a team saying that, we rest them after 2 games because we're not worried about this. So pretty much you defeating the competitive spirit of that player off the top. And I don't like that. I think that guy's got to play. If an injury happens, it happens, but you got to play. Lonzo Ball, when they did what the Lakers did what they did a few years back, Lonzo could have sat down after the 3rd game, but he kept playing, and they won the championship, and it was exciting. If Wemby would have kept playing and San Antonio would have won the championship, he could walk into the NBA with some street credibility. That's why people messed with Zoe off top, because he had street cred. Kuzma had street cred. Caruso had street cred walking into the NBA. They weren't just basketball players. They went and won the damn summer league and made it the most exciting summer league anybody's ever seen. And I feel like teams, you can't take that away from the fans, man. They're spending their hard-earned money, and it's hot as hell in Las Vegas, 50 degrees outside. Give the fans what they want and give them what they need. You know what I mean? Or we can just have 6 people come up here and watch the game. That's it. What's the point of having thousands of people come out here and then y'all don't want to have the best players play? So that there goes to the point to where stop picking on people like LeBron and Curry when they sit out these games in these terrible towns. You know what I mean? Yeah, who cares? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we playing against the worst team in the NBA. I don't need to waste my time with them. You know what I mean? It is what it is, but they'll play. So if they got to play, your little rookie got to play too.
It's so much to dive in there. I'll just give you my 2 cents in a couple spots there. Then we'll move on. The NBA and the financial structure. Yeah, they're making billions. I get that. And what you said about the rookie contract into the extensions, so true because, I'm going to take it locally here. The Grant Williams of the world was bitching and crying about his playing time. The Peyton Pritchards of the world are bitching and crying about their playing time. And there was a couple others. Well, the squeaky wheel doesn't get the oil or the grease all the time. And next thing you know, they ship one out. Malcolm Brogdon, another one, would have been shipped out if it wasn't coming back bad on the doctor's report. Now you got two guys, because of the way the NBA system is set up, where Jaylen Brown is now gifted a 5-year $330 million contract, which the Celtics are hesitant right now in paying. He would become the highest paid player currently in the NBA, which we know will get topped by Jason Tatum next year. So between two guys, you're going to have to pay $650 million, which again means the other guys are going to get paid less. Secondly, Red Sox 2 years ago signed Trevor Story, a broken down shell of himself, for one reason and one reason only. They got him at their price at 140, and it was a safety valve to use as leverage for Xander Bogaerts. Hey, if Xander, you flex, which he did, we got Trevor Story, who's now finally starting to play and might be back sooner than later. So the same thing with the Celtics. They signed Porzingis. They're going to give him an extension to use that maybe as leverage with Jaylen Brown. Hey, Jaylen, I think you're good, but you're not $330 million good. So therefore, we have a backup plan. So maybe they are trying to move him. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's number two. Number three, the audacity of the NBA. And this is criminal, Pops. Criminal. We talk about the kids. We talk about the kids staying in school for an education, getting more years of seasoning in the college ranks. And two guys named Sonogo and Timmy don't get drafted. Are you effing telling me that neither one of those guys can play in the NBA? I know the game has changed, okay? And I'm not talking about UConn and Sonogo. Timmy that was going to come out a couple years later kept coming back, and Gonzaga never could do it, okay? There was a guy in the summer league named Tyrese Martin that had a hell of a summer league. Opened up some eyes. Maybe we'll get a final shot. But what they did to those two kids, Sonogo and Timmy, is criminal. Criminal.
And then throw in Big O, too. Big O won the National Player of the Year. You never, ever not pick the National Player of the Year not in the first round. I don't care when you pick him. You just don't say, you know what? He was the National Player of the Year in college basketball. It just doesn't matter. Because the best player in high school is not better than him. I don't know who puts this into their heads. But no, the guy from high school is not better than him. Because the guy from high school is not playing against the same type of talent. The guy from high school is playing against a guy that might be 2 years younger than him. And it's his first game out there playing with the big boys. Man, when you go to college, you're dealing with grown men. And you're dealing with all types of different defensive sets. You don't have defensive three. So that means that a guy can camp out in the hoop all day. And then you can become a limited basketball player. If anybody sees any of these five-star guys, ask me the last one that actually have more than two average 20 points when they get there to their freshman year. It's rare now. Before, when they came in, they used to be what Dickie V called diaper dandy. They get 25 points a game. But now, I'm a freshman, and I was the best player in the nation. And you average 9 points a game, and you're telling me you belong in the NBA? No, you don't. You belong at college, and you need to get your grades together.
You watched March Madness. You watched the Big East tournament like everyone else, okay? My point very simply is there was no one in that tournament that played better than Sonogo. No one. That was a 5-6 game sample of a team that rose back to the top, that won the national title, that beat the best teams in the country. And again, I'm not here touting UConn. I'm more disappointed that not one NBA GM saw the work ethic, saw the effort, saw what he did for his team, whether it was scoring, whether it was defense, whether it was grabbing rebounds, and had the audacity to draft the bastard. I mean, what are they watching? What are they telling the rest of the kids? that are deciding whether to go to school or whether to try to go right to the draft so they can go to the G League, get paid for 3-4 years, and hope to get on a team.
Right. And I'm just like, and it's just killing me because everybody's so worried about NIL, everybody's so worried about this. And now, funny thing with NIL is this. The colleges realize that, you can't have outside sources giving these people the money. Because once they give them the money, they have to maybe commit to a school that they don't want to commit to anymore. You saw the Florida situation. You know what I mean? And now you're kind of stuck. You're not a professional. You shouldn't be getting any money until you actually sign up for a school. So now the schools are like, you just hand us the money and we'll allocate the money. Because they don't want to give one singular player $12 million. They don't want to do that because that guy didn't earn $12 million. They just want, and that's what I keep trying to tell everybody, with the NIL, they just want to own you. That's it. They just got first rights to everything that's your image. So that means that you got to buy that thing back if you are signed up with certain companies. So them having to go bring it to the school actually is a safer precaution for these guys moving forward. Because if a guy hands you $500,000, he expects you to be the best quarterback ever at USC, not just be there. And then they're going to feel like they need their money back if you don't actually show up. This isn't a because you had great grades in high school or something like that. It's because you play a sport, you play it well, and they feel like you can be the X factor on getting this team more money for the school at the end of the day. It's always about the money. But they're starting to figure it out that in college, we don't have the LeBron James to carry the whole team. We have a lot of guys that can carry the team. So why do we need to give him $2 million? Knowing that we got 4 other seniors that worked their butts all the way off to get to this point, share the wealth a little bit. So now it's not really them giving the NIL to the player in college football. From what I saw, they starting to give it to the school. And I think that's a good idea, to be honest with you, because the school is the only way that it's going to be done properly, because we can see that a lot of guys are killing their whole career and they're killing their whole image and they're killing their skills by just worrying about money. Don't worry about the money. If you're good, the money will come. It's that simple. Everybody wants a head start. But in life, at that point in life, you don't want to give somebody a head start. You want to give somebody the hand-me-down somewhat. You know what I mean? So then they can learn how to get to the greater goal, to the greater good. It's steps. Stop skipping steps. That's what I tell people every day. Every time you skip steps, what happens is that it's disaster at the end of the day. But when you follow all the steps correctly and do everything right, things pretty much work out the way that they're supposed to.
I want to give a quick shout out to Connor as always.
Connor, my
shout
man.
Out to Bama Marty. SEC football coming soon. Marty, a lot of talk. Going to be, a tough year again for Alabama. Georgia, the 2-time champs. A lot of hype on LSU. You guys lose again. You don't rebuild, you reload. I get that. A new quarterback, yada, yada, yada. I think you guys will be fine. 6.5-point favorites in the look ahead in November against LSU. So we'll be doing a lot of college and SEC talk coming soon. So get ready for that. I'm going to close in Dodgerville. You know what? I said something on my show yesterday, and I know it's not going to happen. Listen, Shoei's not getting traded before the break. No one can come up with a rental package. They've already made it clear they're not trading him to the Dodgers. If you're going to get him, you're going to have to get him in free agency. They don't want to be the team to say, hey, here you go. Give us 6 prospects, 2 ready-made players. You can rent them, and then, you can re-sign them. Arizona, pesky, hanging around. The Padres, big game today, trying to win the series against Toronto. Currently, right now, down 1-0 there. if I was the Padres GM, I'd be shopping Soto. I'd be shopping Hader. I'd be shopping a few other guys. I'd take the Band-Aid off and then just reload and rebuild for next year. My question to you, and I know it's not going to happen, but again, the resurgence of the Giants and now down 5-0 today. But my point is, Jesus, if any team could really make a difference, like a shit, oh no, now what? If they ever could come up with a package to rent Shohei for the last 3 months to put some heat on you, to put some heat on the D-backs and try to show him, hey, this is where you want to be for your next 10, 12, 15 years. It would be San Fran. That's the spot I would really love to see him. I know it's not going to happen, but as we always close our shop and our weekly show, give us the Dodger report.
Well, the Dodgers right now, they're in a groove. They're doing good. You know what I mean? And I think the Dodgers, that sweep by the Giants woke them up. And losing to the Yankees that weekend, it woke them up. You know what I mean? Because they told themselves, we got to stop messing around. And losing that series to the Royals, that was really bottom. That was rock bottom stuff. And the Dodgers at points were the third place team in the West. But they know how this division works. And they know it's not measured up by 1 month of middling baseball. It's a matter of months. So the Dodgers are in a position now to where they are really looking for who's going to close later on, who's going to close for the playoffs, possibly finding another third baseman. You know what I mean? You just need another bat. And then you might need a catcher as well, too, backup catcher for Will Smith, because Barnes, you're not getting any hitting out of Barnes, and Barnes, they still on Barnes. Like Jeff, you could still on Barnes if you wanted to. You know what I mean? And literally, Barnes is a good, hard little worker, but that time is over with because Clayton Kershaw always has to have Clayton Kershaw is like a really great golfer. He has to have his caddy. You know what I mean? Like, damn, dude, you have to have your Pacific catcher. And we all know a lot of the great Hall of Fame pitchers always had their catcher. It might not even be the catcher who's the actual starter. It's the catcher that you're comfortable with because he makes it very comfortable for you. But the Dodgers have done everything that they were supposed to. Keep it steady, keep it right. And I know a lot of people probably got their feelings hurt when Vargas got sent back down to the farm. But Vargas getting sent back down to the farm was a much needed thing because Vargas needs to go over and fine tune some hitting. And the Dodgers are better with this veteran bunch. Think about it. You got JD Martinez. They kind of said that he was washed up, but he's having a hell of a season. Jason Hayward, they said that he's been washed up for 5 years. But Jason Hayward is always going to be an adequate outfielder. And when he's in a groove, he'll be able to knock some balls out as well, too. He's actually been able to find his groove again with the Dodgers because he's with a good friend, Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. So when you look at the veterans they have, the Dodgers are constructed like every great old school World Series team because every great old school World Series team always had a collection of veterans that been there, done that. It goes back to the Billy Beane, David Justice conversation. I don't want you for what you were. I want you for what you are. You get my, because I need the brain that you got today. I don't want the brain that you had 10 years ago. I want the brain that you got today because you're going to help the rest of this team succeed. And the Dodgers have turned themselves more into a veteran Latin bunch than just this homegrown group of guys with a few sprinkled around from, around the MLB. Now it's more like, okay, we got a good veteran group here. We're invested. We got the best manager in baseball, and we're just going to go from here. We're not worried about winning 110 games this year. We just win the games that we need to win. And the Dodgers have shown that that it's levels in the MLB. Look at the Orioles series, for instance. You know what I mean? Everybody would have probably thought the Orioles should sweep the Dodgers. The Dodgers had their way with them. Yeah, they lost yesterday, but they did what they wanted to the Orioles this week. And that was kind of surprising in a sense to me. But I just really feel like the Dodgers are on course. They're in the right place of mind. And I think that the Dodgers probably will make a deal that's going to be very significant with the St. Louis Cardinals. I think that Montgomery could be a possible target for the Dodgers. I would love to get Ariando, but I know that they're not giving Ariando up because he's not in a walk year or anything like that yet. And the Dodgers, at the end of the day, they're not overspending for anybody. The Dodgers aren't taking on big contracts anymore because when they got to take on a big contract, they got to get rid of 8 prospects. They don't want to do that anymore, and it's funny because the Dodgers are the one team in the MLB that can brag and be like, we've blessed everybody damn near. Everybody we've made a major trade with, they have somebody on that team that's either all-star caliber or been in an all-star game. Look at it. We gave you guys Verdugo. Verdugo is one of your star players, right? Yeah, he's one of the guys that you guys look to. Another great example, Josiah Gray, one of the better picks, just got done with the All-Star game. Dean Creamer just pitched against the Dodgers yesterday. He's one of the top pitchers for the Orioles. They're a damn good team right now. So those are just examples of how much talent the Dodgers have down at the farm and that they can really make any deal that they want to make at the end of the day. But will they make that deal? I doubt it, because they've gotten far enough with the group that they have now. So the Dodgers, they just need to keep things steady. But they are always ready for the Giants to rear their ugly head. If anybody is an issue, annoyance, it's the Giants. The Padres can be dealt with. The Diamondbacks can be dealt with. The Rockies, come on. But the Giants, that's different. That's 100 years of rivalry right there, Jeff. That's a team that absolutely hates your guts. There's never going to be any love between the Giants and the Dodgers. Just like there ain't going to be no love between the Red Sox and Yankees. It's just stupid. What? You know what I mean? And really, when one comes to the other side after playing for the other side, it's to really just be a troll to the other side. Oh, you diss me like that, I'm going to go play for the Dodgers. You diss me like that, I'm going to go play for the Giants. So, the good old, and when somebody, how great a rivalry is, when one of your greatest players gets traded to that team, he says, I'm good, I'm retiring. Jackie Robinson getting traded to the New York Giants late in his career and walking into the Polo Grounds and telling them, thank you, but no thank you. I'm a Dodger for life, and I will never put on this uniform. I am done with baseball. You know what I mean? So you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
I following the Dodgers closely. Obviously, our friend Mr. Lucky always going back and forth with us, and a few others on Twitter. I think the second half and the playoff push in the playoffs. The one thing, the glaring hole that you guys have is the ineffectiveness currently, which will change, of course, by the trade deadline of your starting pitching. Now, Kershaw on the DL. Urias has not been a shell of himself. Gonsolin, hit or miss. No Walker Buehler. And the list is endless there. So it'll be interesting to see which pitchers become available at the deadline. Is there going to be a shift? No. And listen, it's easy. If you could add Shohei tomorrow, then bang, you plug and play. He plays the outfield or wherever you want to play him 5 days a week, and he pitches on day 6 and he sits out game 7. So there'll be no Shohei deal. But the fact is, I don't think the Sox will end up being sellers fools. I keep talking about James Paxton. You'll find a veteran pitcher out there to bolster an already a team. You talked about Jason Hayward, man. That guy is my kryptonite. 2 days ago, I just needed him to get a sack. One of his 3 at bats in the first 5 innings, he couldn't do it. Go against them in the first 5 the next day, and he hits that 3-run homer. If I could have gone through the video right here, I would have choked that bastard. I got a million of those guys, but he's one of them. He got me good, but definitely going to be there for sure. you blink and there's 55 minutes. I don't know, when you and I get going, we could talk for hours, but we're back on our weekly Thursday gig here. The scroll has been going the whole time. Go follow Pops on the Twitter at Pop Dibiase at Prime Wave Media. Pops, tell them all the good stuff that you got to offer and where to find you.
Well, lightweight, I'm a little bit of a competitor to Jeff, but we friendly competitors. You know what I mean? It's like the two chicken places that are on the same street, but we all get along. You know what I mean? Like we all good,
We got Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, or you can throw in Raising Cane's. How's that?
Let me get KFC. You messed up, man. KFC used to be the king of all of them. We just gonna throw them out. Like just KFC, you're done. Even though you're the one that
I love their coleslaw. I love their coleslaw.
Nobody likes KFC anymore. Everybody says the same thing. I love their coleslaw. Yeah, because you can't keep going to a chicken place and the chicken tastes 3 days old, man. You can't have the same issue at each restaurant. Burger King, I mean KFC, Burger King, KFC then became the same damn thing, and they be the best, like literally, like it was like gold going to those places compared to where we really had to go to. You know what I mean? But you guys can catch me on the Twitter at Pop Dibiase. I got talking tickets daily for you guys there. Also, you guys can check all my media reports because in August I am going to start reporting a lot more from the Prime Wave Media Twitter page with all breaking news and things like that. And all my little sports thoughts and things like that to get that page a little bit more activity and everything, and show that it's a media page. So you guys check that on out. And also you guys can catch my daily show, which is going to be on at 1:00 today. That's live, so you can jump on and ask questions, ask nice questions, ask any type of question. I'll answer that question for you. You guys can jump on in and talk today. We're going to be ripping on the Raiders, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Also, you guys can sign up to be, I just said it, being across the street from Jeff, competitor somewhat, but not really, because it's enough people for everybody. So you guys can check me out over at Primetime Sports Investors. You guys just DM me about that. We still have the website under construction at this point, but you guys can become a exclusive client and you guys can sign up and get one of the best deals in the business with one of the more credible cappers in the business, not named Jeff Dawson. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, but we've outlasted a lot of scammers in this business. So when you come to us, you are at home. We got clients that have been with us for almost 10 years, both of us. So just know that you're dealing with guys that are pros, the cappers. That's what we truly are. So pretty much, I thank you guys very much. And I know I could go on all day. And Jeff has 2,500 calls to make, and he's being really patient with me. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. You guys catch me at 1:00, and I look forward to that. And hopefully we can get Jeff on my show tomorrow at noon because we got to talk some NFL, brother.
That's the plan. Text me in the morning. I should be good to go at 3:00. Going to have a fantasy show tomorrow. I haven't pinned down a time there. Guest with you, and then myself and Riley will back it up with the closing bell at 3:30, 1 hour from now. Myself and Andrew McGinnis will be getting everyone ready for the CFL this weekend. So go follow Pops. Hope to be a guest tomorrow. That's the plan. And me and Pops back here every Thursday. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only prime time capper, Mr. Pop Dibiase at Pop Dibiase at Prime Wave Media. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun. Cash a few tickets. Enjoy the dog days of summer. And we'll see you real soon. Shout out to Connor and Marty again. Thank you guys so much. And everyone else watching and listening, we will see you soon.